How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to my next video. As I mentioned last time, today I'm going to go over my entire Flash collection. This one isn't too big, I only have a small chunk, but the Flash is the first series that wasn't Spider-Man or anything Batman related that I initially started delving into from the Silver Age, just because of how much I like the covers. There was one in particular that popped up with Grodd on it, that kind of started the rabbit hole that I needed that one book. And after that, I started looking into them, and I kept finding more and more of these books and covers that I just fell in love with. And from there, it just spawned into all these little DC Silver Age offshoots that just haven't stopped. So we'll get into my little bit of Flash right here. Same as usual, there's only about one slab in this collection, as I prefer to keep the main run raw. But let's get into it. The first book we have here is the Flash number 115, and this is a nice 10-cent issue right here. It has a decent amount of wear on the spine, and I could be wrong, but I think either the entire centerfold is detached, or it's just the bottom staple is detached. But either way, really cool cover. One of the things that initially got me into the Flash was all of these weird big head covers, the Flash being fat covers. He has some of the weirdest, most random covers I've seen in the DC titles, which is one of the reasons I wanted to track them down and I wanted to collect them all. So we had Flash 115 right there. Then we're going to go right into Flash number 130. This beautiful black background with the neon colors almost popping off. You got the Trickster, Captain Cold, the Top, Captain Boomerang, and Mirror Master. This has everything I love in it. I believe this again is Carmine Infantino, the black background, which I am always a sucker for, with all of his rogues right there floating around him. Awesome 12-cent issue. Alright, and then we have number 132. This is just a nice purple background right here. Same thing you kind of saw before. Instead of getting fat, he's just getting heavier so fast that he's starting to fall through the earth that he's running on. So again, a lot of these covers are just super fun. Really great books to collect. If you're looking for something to kind of collect that you're not currently doing, this is a cool little run to get into. Even if you're not necessarily trying to do a complete run, it's just a fun run to grab some of these great books from. Like this one right here, we have The Flash 133. This is one of those books I talked about when I said I kind of have a thing for puppet, ventriloquist dummy, or doll covers. Just something about them that are really cool, really fun. So you have Abracadabra the Magician right here, turning the Flash into a puppet as he's running. And another great thing about these Flash covers is they do kind of two-tone covers really well, where you have characters and one style of panel going on, along with a whole color background shift that includes the other character. You'll see that on a few of a villain getting punched across the panel. The first appearance of the Reverse Flash. They utilize that a lot, and I love it. But this between the Puppet Flash, the two-tone awesome cover that you have right here, the colors just popping out at you. This is one of the favorites I have in my collection. Really cool Flash book. And same thing, this long box is a little tight, so it's going to be maybe just an extra second or two to actually get each book out and grab the next one. Here we have a more recent pickup that anybody, again, that's in the same claim sales as me saw me snag. This is the Flash 139. The first appearance of Professor Zoom, otherwise known as the Reverse Flash, who you have right there. And this is another instance of what I just talked about, where you have the Flash coming from this blue background onto an entire different panel almost, with a futuristic background that has the Reverse Flash. This one, I haven't decided if I want to get graded. As I've mentioned before, I try to keep my main run miscellaneous filler books raw, and only grade my first appearances. That way, A, it's less space, and if I want to try to sell, upgrade, or trade the first appearances, it's a lot easier, too, for the big money books when you have a set grade on it. So, I don't know yet, but for now, I'm enjoying having this in the collection. This book, it's pretty good. It's probably somewhere in a 5 to a 6, depending on if you were to get it pressed, depending on the grader you had. So for what I paid for, awesome book. This is another one I got from James at Mint Hunter Comics. If you haven't checked out his claim sales before, I highly recommend them. It can be a little frustrating at times because, myself included, a lot of us are pretty quick to the draw, and a lot of people either internet just isn't as fast, or when you allow just a little more information on a book you might snag, it might be too late because somebody's already grabbed it without thinking about it. But here we have the Flash 145. Almost the same theme. With same thing, you have Weather Wizard right here, raining down on Flash, so he's kind of separated into his own little color section of the cover with the beautiful orange on each side of it. Again, a lot of these covers are just super cool, super fun. An interesting fact about it is I wasn't even a huge Flash fan growing up. These are purely just the love for the covers when a couple of them came up, and I decided it's something that looks so cool, so fun, that I would like to collect it myself. And it's been, like I said, a rabbit hole of DC ever since I branched into the Flash, ever since. And here we have the Flash 151. This is an awesome cover with the shade. So this is one where kind of goes against what I normally like, but it fits the character, where you have this grayscale background, so it's just the 3 characters on the cover coming out off of it that much more. And it works because that's what the shade does. He takes away the light, making it so it's dark. This is also a nice high-grade copy that I have right here. This is one of those ones I tracked off of eBay specifically looking for very fine to near mint minus. Really happy to have this one in the collection. All right, and then next up we have the Flash 153. And again, now that we're going through, you can really see what I was talking about, where it is character on one panel going to or getting another character off to another panel, where they completely, in this case, punching him through time. These covers are just awesome. The Flash right there, getting Reverse Flash all the way through, back on his purple side. They're fun. The colors are always great. The artist is always great. And again, I highly recommend, if you're looking for the next thing that you want to collect without going crazy into expensive books and just having fun, The Flash is a really great title with some really great books and covers that I highly recommend. Next up, we have The Flash, number 157. This awesome issue right here. And this is actually one that when I got in, because I told you guys before that a lot of the books I get in, I either try not to handle them as much because I'm afraid of lessening the grade that it's in. I like having my books as pristine as they can be. Even if I get a book that's mid or lower grade, I still don't want to cause it any more damage. But this is one that I'm starting to read more and more of them as I get. And this was actually a fun issue. I busted this out when I first got it and read it. Super fun. You have the day the Flash aged 100 years right there. And again, if you ever pick this book up, go ahead and read it. Fun little twist right there. And everything that you kind of think of the Flash, of that sarcastic, kind of quick, witty character. And here's again my bread and butter. The Flash 158 with this awesome, again, purple background. That with the villain right there, Breakaway. That green he has just coming right off against that purple background better than anything. But again, also still utilizing that 2-panel that a lot of the covers have. So same color across the board, but it's almost like a mini comic where you have the two separated. This one, again, is just really fun. Separating head from the body, separating torso from the body. Purple cover that's just awesome. This is another high-grade beauty I have in my collection. A lot of the Flash in general, not all of them, but a lot of the Flash are more to the very fine grade, because most of those are ones that I have had to hunt down more on eBay than claim sales. Surprisingly, a lot of the claim sales are getting a decent amount of DC Silver Age that I follow, but not a lot of people actually get the Flash. So here we have the Flash 163. Again, another awesome black background That bright red flash, just only thing that's coming off with that huge word bubble. Stop, don't pass up this issue. My life depends on it. If I was a kid and I saw this book, I at least would have picked it up just to see what was going on, just for the cover alone. So another awesome, super fun Flash cover. And it was initially the Flash. I was hunting down a lot of the black backgrounds and the big head ones before anything else. Here we have the Flash 166, still kind of keeping with that theme of that very clear divide of a two-tone background, of this very dark with red hint brick wall, this super nice light green background on this side. You got Captain Cold and Heatwave right there on the cover. Again, a lot of these covers, that two-tone, the villains. Flash, again, has some of the most fun villains out there. You can love a hero, but it's only going to be as good as the stories and his villains that kind of go up against him, whether they are throwing obstacles, humanizing them, and he just has some of the most fun rogues gallery there is. All right, after that, we have the Flash. There we go. Number, it's a little dark there, 171. Again, just with most of these, another awesome Carmine Infantino cover. This is one I did get as a claim sale buy, so it is closer to like a fine condition than a very fine, but still another awesome copy that I'm lucky to have in my collection. And now, we'll just put them both up, because this is actually the cover that started it all right here. We got both of those in view? Yes, we do. This is the Flash 172. This one, I think I saw it either on somebody else's haul video, and I can't remember who or where it was, but this is the cover that initially made me want to start collecting the Flash. This cover is everything I love about comics. It is the super black background Silver Age book. You have this massive Gorilla Grodd right on the cover with that slight yellow outline that separates him and makes him pop from the rest of the background. You have the Flash's suit right here, Carmine Infantino and Anderson's signature and nice yellow down at the bottom. This cover is just beautiful to me. Between the black background, the characters, if done right, animal covers also have their own little niche that just something about them you love. Like my Batman with the elephant cover I showed off, or the Batman turning into a tiger. They're just really cool, and this is a really, really good example of Silver Age doing it right, and everything to love about the Silver Age. Just, again, the black background, the use of the neon blue, the neon green, the yellows, the reds, how the characters take up the entire cover. I love these with a passion, and this is the book that really made me start looking at things that weren't Batman and realizing I was missing out on a lot more books. All right, and next we're going to move into, again, another black background with the Flash 173. You have Once There Were 3 Flashes, then there were 2, then there was 1, finally there was none. Awesome cover right here, showcasing all the Flashes with that nice black background, all just running full speed, getting down to the wire there. Again, another Infantino Anderson cover. All right, then we're going to move into the Flash 174. This awesome blocked out Flash cover, his name taking up the entire page. Again, you have all of his villains up top there, looking down as he's defeated below. This one, again, just the colors, the boldness of it is everything I love about collecting the Silver Age. All right, next up we have the Flash 175, and I forget which one it is, but this is one of the Flash versus Superman races. Could be the final third one, but don't quote me on that. Again, just another iconic cover. The race itself, iconic in DC Comics history. The Flash and Superman, love it. All right, now we're getting to a lot of the fun stuff with the Flash 177, the cover of all covers when it comes to Big Head Flash. This is, again, it's just, if you're looking for something fun, take a look at the Flash. It'll definitely be worth it. But this is what I'm talking about, where there are just fun, awesome covers to have in your collection. And this one in particular, with the bright red, the bright yellows, that massive head taking up the whole cover, something about it makes it look a little bit more like a modern book, even though it's still a 12-cent issue. It helps that this copy is immaculate. If it wasn't for the weirdest thing I have on the spine, which is that it's not even a spine tick. It almost looks like a piece of the spine was cut weirdly with an X-Acto along the spine for a very, very small section. I'm not sure if it is a manufacturing error or what happened, but that is the only flaw on this book. Everything else about this book, the corners are sharp and clean. The binding up top is even good. There's none of that slight tearing you get, the bindery tear. No spine ticks whatsoever. This is just an awesome, fun, Big Head Flash cover. Then we have the Flash 179. Just again, another awesome panel cover right here. You got the Flash in trouble on the cover and the little kids reading all about it. This one is actually a Andrew and Esposito cover right here. So a little break out of the Carmine Infantino. And I'm saying it's a slight delay because as I pull one out, I'm trying to kind of get the next one pulled out and started just so we don't lose the place right here. But now we have another one of my favorite high-grade beauties. This is the Flash 180 with this awesome samurai cover right here. This one, again, is more about the color play, where the shadowing of that bright yellow to really show the highlights from the moon up top. Again, because overall, this is still a black background cover. It's just the use of color and shading is what makes it so great. This is Super Speed Showdown, the Flash versus the fastest sword in the East. This is just an awesome, awesome cover. Love the samurai, love the Flash. Again, it's the color highlights that make this one stand out above a lot of the others for me. So super cool Flash book. All right, and next up, oh, and this is another one actually that I actually have, because if we got them, might as well show them. I got two copies, Flash 184. This is not just a tragic day for the Flash. This was also a tragic day for myself because I initially got this book on the right that, in my opinion, was still a touch higher than the one on the left. But this is one of the only books I have ever received that actually got damaged in shipping. And it was of no fault of the guy that I got it from. The corner down here got bunched up, causing multiple kind of spine bends, spine ticks. And that is because I got probably 3 or 4 of these books that arrived on the same day. And my mailman apparently thought he could shove every single one of them in the mailbox instead of just leaving a couple on the porch. And because of that, the bottom corner got bent, being shoved into the mailbox. And again, it's not on the guy I got the book from, because he actually, this book was encased in bag and boards. It was encased in cardboard. And that, again, was in like a Gemini mailer. It was just shoved in my mailbox with such force that could not help it. But other than that, again, one of my favorite black covers from The Flash. As you'll see coming up, actually, I'm going to leave one of these out to use as a reference, because there's a nice homage to that later in the series that I really love that I actually have. So, in the meantime, we'll get our next contender with The Flash 189. This one right here is probably more of a fine plus copy, but again, a really cool Joe Kubert cover right here. Again, a lot of these are just big and fun. I love the character designs. All right, and then we have The Flash 198, getting into my 15-cent issues right here. This is a nice, awesome Gil Kane cover right there. All right, and now we're going back to, I believe, Carmine Infantino again. We have The Flash, number 305. A little bit of awesome Golden Age, Silver Age Flash, both on the cover right there. Getting a lot of that multiverse play. Super cool cover. Got a little tight in the back of the box. Here we have The Flash 317. Again, another awesome later Infantino cover. This one is just super cool. You have the little boy right here, and the Flash is kind of changing in a flash right in front of him. You see him pull out the ring, the suit shoot out, and he changes into the Flash, all in the blink of an eye. A super cool, later in the run, black newsstand copy. Then we have The Flash 323. Again, more later in the run, awesome black cover, Carmine Infantino, and there we go, Rodriguez, hard to read it, Rodriguez? I apologize on that. But again, awesome Flash versus the Flash cover with the black background, super cool. And again, for a later one, also a newsstand. Then we have The Flash 326, this awesome Flash in chains, his logo taking up the entire cover. It's just everything about it grabs your eye. The fact that he takes up the whole page, his fists in cuffs are at the forefront. You want to read it, you want to figure out why, what happened. Super cool cover. And of course, just the follow-up to that, we got Flash in his cell right here with the Flash 349. Cool black background with the light shining through the bars. Flash kind of small off to the side. Kind of a little bit of hopelessness to the cover of how small he's become in the situation. Then we have The Flash number 5. So I believe this is again when it got rebooted right here. These covers I actually got at the Vermont Queechee Antique Mall, which is one of my favorite places to head up on the weekends. They got a lot of cool books in there that some people know what they're looking for, but a lot of things go under the radar because it's not a big comic spot. And then we have The Flash number 6. And again, these covers are still later than I normally collect, but were just super cool that I had to have them. And then the last raw book I have, and this is the one I want to compare so you guys can clearly see, this is The Flash 76. So on this side, you're about to read one of the most tragic day in the life of the Flash. Over here, you are about to experience the most tragic day in the life of Wally West. Another awesome Templeton cover. And this one, in addition to, I love that it's still the black background. I like that it is in a nice homage to the book without actually directly copying, both in terms of the wording and the actual posing of the character. But even cooler about this book, we are actually going to bust this out of the Mylar real quick for you guys, because this is the only book in my collection that, and this is, again, is a beautiful copy, but only book in my collection that I have that is actually a double cover. And this thing, and the condition it is in, especially the inside cover itself, this easily might be a 9/8 double cover candidate. So I just find that amazing. Again, it's the only one that I've ever had in my collection. It was not sold to me as such, so I'm not sure if the seller even knew that it was a double cover, but that is super cool. I am super proud to have that in my collection. That is one that I honestly might get graded just because of how rare double covers are and the fact that I love The Flash. It's an awesome Flash book, and I think it may get a 9/8. Next up, we have the only slab in my Flash collection. Now, let's try to back this camera up just a bit. There we go. Move it over. So here we have the Flash 110 and a CGC 4.0 off-white pages. This book is another great 10-cent issue, But the significance of this book is it is the origin and first appearance of Kid Flash, Wally West, and the Weather Wizard, Mark Martin. So this book is a special book for me in particular because when I grew up, I honestly didn't have a lot of Flash comics, Flash TV. I wasn't really a Flash fan. My only kind of interactions with the character were through the animated movies like Justice League Doom and the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited show. So because of that, what little bit I knew about the Flash, I actually just thought that Wally West was the Flash. When I was younger, I didn't even know about Barry Allen. So for me growing up, Wally West and his interactions with the Justice League, that was my Flash. So having this book is really, really important to me because I always loved that character. I loved the storyline about the Justice League kind of going dark and taking justice into their own hands. And it was because the death of the Flash at the hands of Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor becomes president after that. That whole storyline and what Flash meant to the team, how his kind of joking around attitude, people always didn't take him seriously, even though he was kind of holding the team together, and he was a lot more powerful than anybody, including himself, ever gave him credit for, as anybody who's seen that show knows from the finale. So this is, again, not just for my Flash run, but this is one of my favorite books in my collection just because of what the character of Wally West means to me. So really cool to have it. But there you go, folks. That is everything I currently have in my collection for The Flash. Okay, so once again, there we are. That is everything I have for The Flash. And again, this book right here, not just one of my favorite Flash books, but one of my favorite books in my collection. Because again, how much that character means to me. Growing up, watching the Justice League, watching The Flash, super cool to actually have this in my collection. And this was another one that I actually got from James over at Mint Hunter Comics, which even at the time, I got that for a steal, and the price has just only maintained or steadily gone up. So really happy to get that when I did. So for my next video, now that we've covered Batman, Detective Comics, everything Superman related, now The Flash, first I'm going to show you guys a next claim sale pickup video, which is starting with a stack I have in back, but I'm actually going to have probably 2 or 3 more packages show up before I film that video. So it'll be a decent stack. Not as big as last time, but a healthy stack. But my next video from my current collection that I think I'll delve into after that is going over my entire Justice League of America collection, which that one, again, is another one I started fairly soon after The Flash. That not huge, but a lot of the covers I have, I was very selective and happy with the covers I got. So I think we'll do claim sale pickup video for my next video, and we'll move into Justice League of America after that. So thank you guys again for checking out my video. Until next time.